guys, some guys are like really into that. Like I want to be the one to make the first move, but for most it's like a relief, like Trevor said.
All right, fair enough. Next question, or is there more to say?
I'll say one thing.
Yes.
I really appreciate it when the girl texts first.
Okay.
That's like, I don't always want to initiate conversation. So if the girl texts first,
Okay, fair enough.
that's like, you're showing interest. I like it.
All right, there you go. Everyone, get out your phones. Text your. Okay, next. How do you know if a guy likes you? What are some signs?
I feel like for that, it really depends on the guy themselves. At least for me, I feel like I try and spend more time with them. If that is at all possible, I try to spend time with them so then I can try and figure out if the crush is like worthwhile or whatever. So I guess that's might be one. But even then it might get slightly confusing because I do generally hang out with all of my like best friends that are female as well. So I guess it really just, you have to read into it yourself, into what the guy does and acts.
Yeah, like
You go ahead.
yeah, it does depend on the guy. One thing to look for, I guess, is does he act different around you? Does he act the same way to his other friends that are girls or with his other friends? Yeah, if they're getting to know you, spending a little more time texting you on a regular basis, maybe. But texting is a whole nother story. It's hard to tell anything through text because there's not that much emotion being put into it sometimes. Like, how many times do you laugh when you text somebody LOL? Like, let's be honest here.
Maybe like never. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but this is a little bit of like what both of them have already said, but just like he'll probably, or at least for me, like will show more interest in like things you're interested in, because like then knowing that he'll be able to understand you a little bit more. So probably displaying interest in your interests.
Any other input? So the universal signs are kind of just like spending more time with the girl and like being interested in what she's interested in. That's kind of what I'm getting.
I would also add that like Zach said, it definitely does depend on the guy himself. Like, no, you're all different. Like, you girls are all different, and we all have different love languages, I guess. You know, there's like quality time, or like you like to gift and stuff like that. And yes, if whatever that guy's love language is, if he does it more around you, let's say like every once in a while he just, I don't know, offers you gummy bears. I don't know, small things, you know, even small things. I mean, a lot of a big like have big messages behind them. So if you like figure out what his love language is, like his biggest, and just like see, then yeah.
Totally. Cool. Anything else? Okay, next question. Do you have any advice on how to deal with friendships that are rocky or hard to deal with? So this could be within friendships with guys or like friendships that you have with other, like, not other females because you're not a female, but with a female.
For me personally, it's like try to smooth it out at first, like, or try your best to just work it out and like see if it's actually good. But if it's not, like, it's not gonna be worth it. You burning yourself out or getting hurt from that relationship just because you want to try to keep it going, even though it's not a good thing for you.
Totally.
I would say communication is a really big thing. Wherever you go in life, whether it be in the workforce or a relationship or friendship, communication is always key. And a lot of fights and arguments, they get started because of a lack of communication or miscommunication.
Hmm.
So just being open to talk about things, I think, is really important and is really big.
Yeah, I would agree, especially for like, don't let some of your problems just kind of fester in the background. Like, you can keep on telling yourself, oh, just we can talk about that later, or just push it aside. But at one point or another, it'll just all add up and it'll explode out and become worse. So if you can start out with the best communication about what's going on, then you guys can continue working on building on that friendship and make the friendship even better because it has really good communication.
Hmm.
I agree with like the communication aspect. Like I'm very much somebody who hates like passive aggressiveness. So if like somebody has a problem with me, I would prefer if they came to me and told me that there was a problem with that, but also like not being angry about it. So like sit me down, like, hey, I'm upset about you with this, but not hiding in the background, but also not like yelling at me about it. So yeah, that's kind of where I go with that.
So just like coming into a conversation with a level head kind of thing.
Yeah.
Do you find that this differs from like the friendships you have with girls to the friendships that you have with other guys?
Like how I react if that happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or like how you would, like, would you, if you had a problem with a girl, like, would you approach her? Would you kind of just then like, kind of just try to like put it away or forget about it kind of thing, like Zach said not to do? Is that something that you're more prone to do?
I think it does depend on like how much I value the friendship.
Right. Oh, did he?
Because if it is somebody that doesn't care as much, but yeah,
Right.
it's kind of like if I'm friends with somebody, it doesn't matter if it's like a boy or a girl.
Okay.
I'll approach them if I have a problem. So
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with Darian there. I don't think it should matter too much whether they're a guy or girl. I would want to try and foster any kind of friendship or relationship that I have, and yeah, not try and throw it away if I can do stuff, if I can do something about it. Again, sorry, I bring it back to the communication. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, if I could just jump in there on the communication piece, I think being careful when you're like, if you're kind of in the middle of a conflict, by making sure that you are wanting to listen to them, not just throwing kind of your own needs and communication. So maybe starting just asking, what is their perceptions of what's going on? And then as kind of they unpack what's going on for them, then actually also being direct and clear about what your needs are for the friendship, because if you're not direct and clear, they won't actually know what you need from that kind of friendships. And I think that's for both guys and girls as well.
Totally, that's a good point.
Yeah,
Awesome.
just if I may add one thing, it's oftentimes like what matters, I think to most people, it's just like that meeting halfway. And obviously, like if you go and approach that person that you have to approach, that already means a lot, because you care about the friendship and you do want the problem to be resolved. But yeah, exactly like Julia said, also like listening being a big part of it, of like the whole, should I call it confrontation? Not really, like not in a bad way, but just like talking about the problems. So like meeting halfway is definitely important.
Totally. I think with that as well, when I feel that I am listened to, like within a, like when there is a conflict, I think that helps both parties keep a level head and like stay like understanding of each other, except, or like if someone isn't really listening or only is focusing on like what, like their goals, then I think it can create even more conflict. So that was a really good point. Awesome. Next question. Is it a turnoff when girls are openly flirty?
I mean, I would say just don't be excessively flirty. Like, I mean, that's with anything, I guess. Just don't make it super big deal out in public, just over the top flirty. But like, other than that, I don't think it matters too much.
Yeah, I agree. And again, it obviously depends with the guy too, but um yeah, make your intentions clear. If you aren't wanting to make this friendship a relationship, then don't act that way. Be clear with your intentions, or else some people will get the wrong idea and then they'll get hurt, and then you'll get hurt because that friendship wasn't what it was before.
Totally. That's good advice. Hi, Saki, can you hear us? We're just asking the boys some questions right now about relationships. Anything else for that?
I think it's,
Oh, sorry. No,
go ahead.
Darian.
I'll go ahead. Yeah. I do think it depends on like the guy too, because personally, I hate PDA. So that's just something that I don't like for some reason. That's how life works. And I also, like, I know there's some people who are openly flirty with just everybody that they talk to. And that's a very huge turnoff for me of like, if I'm pursuing a girl, let's say, and she's like openly flirty with me and I'm like, I'm into that. But then she's also like joking around with other dudes the same way. That's super turn off for me. So yeah.
The big thing is that it's very confusing, and that, you know, even let's say you come to the consensus that you're not going to go into a relationship, maybe you want to like keep the friendship, and if it's confusing, that's obviously upsetting for guy, or I guess the other way around. It can be the other way around as well, and that obviously can strain, you know, friendship too. So like Zach said, like the excessive thing, it's definitely something that needs to be like, you know, watched.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's say, I feel like when we ask this question, it's like, how do you feel about girls being openly flirty? And obviously, if it's a girl that you liked, then you'd be more okay with that. If it's a girl you don't like, then do you still feel that flirtatiousness, like you'll accept that to a certain extent, or is that something that you don't want?
I feel like that would be like based on the person too,
Mm-hmm.
because like if you're flirty in a friendly way kind of thing, there is that, and then it's like okay, but if like then you're trying to push for romance kind of thing, even though you know the person's not, then it's just kind of like why?
Right. Awesome. Any other input on that?
I think as long as you're keeping like an obvious set of boundaries, if you guys like talk about it, being like, hey, we still want to be friends, but also fine with like tiny bit of like friendly flirty, then I guess
Mm-hmm.
it's really up to you guys. But you have to make sure you have those boundaries set so that both parties kind of know, hey, we aren't actually going to get into relationship, so don't get confused.
Totally. Okay, next question. This is for like those of you who have been in a relationship before or are currently in a relationship. What is the best part of being in a relationship?
It's hard to say because I feel like there's so many good parts about being in a relationship. Obviously, like spending time with that person, just having, you know, fun and like fun experiences and stuff like that, having little inside jokes and stuff. So, I mean, it's hard to say what the best part is, but yeah, for me, definitely it is spending time, being able to laugh, being able to have serious conversations too. Just, just get to know the other person.